All right, lead heads. We are back with, you guessed it, another episode of the Talking Lead Podcast. I'm your host, Lefty, and we are going to continue our coverage of the 2020 SHOT Show in this episode. But we're going to bring you some live interviews too. And when I say live, this is stuff that we've done, obviously, going to be doing right now. But make sure you get a chance, if you haven't yet, go back to part 2 of our coverage of the 2020 SHOT Show last episode, TLP 334, where we had Old Elk Distillery, we had the gang from Red Arrow TV, and we had a offensive tackle from the Atlanta Falcons. We have Caleb McGarry on the show. He was there joining us in the Buck Knives booth all week, and he was a specimen, I'll tell you. Big dude. But he's into hunting and the outdoor life, and we talked a little bit about archery because, as you guys have heard over the last couple episodes, I'm going to be getting into archery hunting this year. So I'm boning up and getting as much information, tips, and tricks as I can from anybody and everybody who's willing to give me some info. So Caleb was nice enough to help me out with a few things there too. So go back, check out that episode. And then, of course, we announced the giveaway, the big giveaway that we're going to be doing with Kel-Tec weapons. We've got that CP33 over at Mission First Tactical that they're putting a nice, cool little Leadhead Brigade logo on there. No telling what else. They're going to be making a custom holster for that CP33. And then Buck Knives is going to have a really cool knife that we're going to have with that. Smith & Bradley Watches is going to put up one of their new Springfield models, and could be a couple of other companies that are jumping in on this. So you guys stay tuned as we progress with finalizing that giveaway. You're going to get all the details on what you need to do to take part and win some cool prizes from Talking Lead and friends of the show and sponsors. And speaking of sponsors, make sure you go and support all those that are making this show possible, like Kel-Tec. We've got a great interview coming up with them that's going to be in this episode, talking about their new Sub-2000. It's an integrally suppressed version that they've come out with. And their RDB, they've come out with a tactical version of their RDB bullpup rifle. So we'll be talking about that. Go check them out, Talking Lead. Go check them out at keltecweapons.com, and I think they've probably got some of that stuff posted on their social media, Facebook, and, of course, you can go to our social media pages. We've got some live things that we did featuring that integrally suppressed Sub-2000 while we were there at Range Day. And then speaking of Range Day, of course, the Antares Alliance, we always do that the day before the SHOT Show Range Day, and we got some great coverage. Did some live feeds there too, but for some reason they didn't save to our Facebook page. And unfortunately, one of our best live coverages that we did that week didn't get saved. But that leads us to who our guest is today. And it is none other than Jack Mills with Virtual Tactical Training Resource. So, Jack, welcome in, buddy.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. We're glad to have you. And, I'm not kidding. That video that we did, it was probably one of the coolest videos, live streams that we did while we were at SHOT Show. And I'm just sick to death that it didn't save to our Facebook page.
We'll have to bring you in and do it again. We'll gear you up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And if you're down this way toward Nashville, which I think you're going to be here coming up next couple of months, maybe we could do some stuff then too. But Jack is retired Chief Master Sergeant. He spent 33 years in the U.S. Air Force, where he served as a First Sergeant, Command Chief Master Sergeant, Group Superintendent, and detailed to the Pentagon as the Senior Enlisted Leader for the SECCAF/MR3-1. And you can tell me what that means in just a second, Jack. Integration Program. His decorations include 5 Meritorious Service Medals, and a Commendation Medal for Heroic Act. I mean, that's very cool right there. And then you've got a lot more background, too, that we're going to talk about. But welcome in, Jack. It's a pleasure to have you on, and I know the Leadheads are going to be very interested in to hear about this really cool virtual training product that you guys are bringing to the market.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, what is SETCAF?
Okay, so as Secretary of the Air Force, Office of Manpower and Reserve Personnel.
Okay,
that's one of the reasons you abbreviate it, because it's just
a mouthful.
We were trying to figure out how to avoid redundancy of process.
Okay.
So you go, if we're doing one thing for active duty and something different for reserve and something different for guard, why can't we just come up with one process for all three?
Right.
Not very glamorous work, but really important in terms of streamlining and becoming more efficient, becoming leaner in what you're doing. So you're not wasting a bunch of overhead just to accomplish mundane tasks.
Right.
So it was a fun gig to end my career on, because you're kind of tearing up the way people are doing it and trying to envision a better way forward.
Sure. I mean, we got to progress, otherwise you just keep falling back. So very cool. We're going to talk about the virtual tactical training resources, the VT2R. Say that real fast. VT2R. It is a hyper-realistic gear enabling you to train like you fight. But before we get into talking about Jack's product that you guys are going to absolutely love, I hear that jackwagon train coming in. So, Gunny, bring that train in.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the talking lead jackwagon of the week, so brace yourself, baby.
All right, so the train has stationed, and we've got a couple of jackwagons that we want to take care of real quick here. And, first and foremost, this is probably on the tip of everyone's thoughts here, and it's what's going on in Virginia. And this just happened yesterday, which would have been February the 10th. As you guys are listening to this, old Governor Northam, however you say his name, the House committee voted in favor of legislation that bans assault weapons like the AK-47, the AR-15s, and suppressors. So it says, on the heels of recent protests and Second Amendment sanctuaries continued to pop up across the Commonwealth, Governor Ralph Northam assured his gun reform legislation is no threat to the Second Amendment. It's just, in and of itself, it is a threat to the Second Amendment, you bonehead. Northam welcomed in the passage of gun control bills as historic after a House committee voted to push the legislation forward. The pieces of legislation that we're proposing, they don't threaten the Second Amendment, and they are constitutional, so I think everybody should be comfortable with them. Lies. Flat out lies. Bold-faced lying to everyone as he's sitting there quoting this. Any legislation to restrict any of our gun rights is against the Constitution. It's unconstitutional. So I just don't know how he can sit here and they can day after day justify what they're trying to do here as being constitutional. So I'm not going to read that entire article, you guys. This is from 13newsnow.com. You can go and read the full article there. This is the most recent update that I was able to find as of the recording. And as you're hearing, I've got videos that keep popping up in the background that I've got to try to shut off.
Control bills.
Jesus. So I'm shutting this site down. So I wanted to get that story over with so I could get rid of those pop-up videos that keep popping up. I hate those sites, man.
Yeah, where you start into it and just keep.
Yeah, it's like if you want me to stay on your site and enjoy it, quit giving me these freaking unwanted pop-ups.
Yeah.
So there's another jackwagon right there. Websites that force you with their stupid pop-ups.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Jack? You got any jackwagons?
Well, I got to clarify one thing. I'll just take you back in history a minute, because
Okay.
It's a vivid moment in my life. I'm 10 years old, growing up in northwest Kansas.
Okay.
Right out in front of this store, because we lived on a farm, you went to town on Saturday to shop. There's a shiny, gleaming Kansas Highway Patrol car. Windows are down. There's an AR, and there's a shotgun.
Okay.
At 10 years old, I knew two things. It would turn out very, very badly if I tried to reach in there and grab a weapon, because if my dad didn't spank me, I was pretty sure the Highway Patrol would not appreciate it.
Sure.
And I also knew the English language shall not be infringed.
Mm-hmm.
we hear this stuff. Well, this isn't so bad. We just want to better manage. What do you need a 30-round magazine for?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you go back historically, I need it because if the government gets tyrannical, it's so the people could put down an oppressive government.
Absolutely.
This country, I spent 6 times I raised my right hand to defend the Constitution with my life and was always prepared to give my life for it. And now I sit back going, the enemies within are far, far scarier than anything we ever fought against.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we're just going to peel this away a little bit at a time. What? Come on, play nice. We're just trying to help you be safer.
Right.
And some of it can even sound reasoned.
We're trying to help all the evil people around you. We're trying to protect you from them. It's all about them trying to protect us from ourselves, which we don't need.
They need a case study on what happened in the UK.
Oh, I'm sure there's one there.
And Australia, where, hey, we're just going to manage this. We're just going to register.
They can throw New Zealand in the mix now.
Yeah, exactly. It's everywhere they've tried to help.
It's turned out bad. It's turned out bad for the law-abiding citizens. No doubt about it. Now,
criminals are going to walk past any legislation anyway. They don't care.
Yeah. So with your background, you'd be a perfect a person to address this too. So, this Governor Northam guy, he's time and time again said, if people aren't going to abide by these unconstitutional laws that he's going to try and impose on his his state, he's going to bring in the National Guard. He's going to bring in the military. He's going to use military force to enforce these. That's unconstitutional in and of itself, right?
Absolutely. If you look at Guards Title 32, they're not allowed to do that. It violates the Constitution. Title 10, neither of those factions can go in and police up civil anything. Right. And if they do, the POTUS has got to get involved. The president wouldn't stand for this for 2 seconds. The Supreme Court, it's all showmanship and gaming.
Yeah.
It's manipulation, which is how these guys work. They're
not even manipulating. They're lying. They're just bold-faced lying.
Yeah.
He can't do what he's threatening to do.
As a senior NCO, if you ordered me to go round up guns from people's houses, you don't have enough rank to force me to violate the Constitution of the United States.
Right, and then these sanctuary cities and counties that are popping up, sheriffs in these towns are coming up and saying, look, we're not going to enforce these laws anyway.
So here's what gets scary. I spent all my time in the military side worrying about it at a global level. We're down to now, if you don't pay attention to who you elect as your sheriff, if you don't pay attention to what judges you put on the bench, we're screwed, because those are your last lines of defense. And unfortunately, they're used every day now, the sheriff and the judge. And without them, Second Amendment's forfeit. It's just a matter of time until they get their way.
Yep, absolutely. They're just, like you said, they're slowly chipping away at it, and we have to be more.
Never thought I'd say that. I
know, it's ridiculous, and we got to be more vigilant. We got to be more vocal about it. Can't sit back and just think that because it's our innate God-given right that it's always going to be there and we don't have anything to worry about. You gave prime examples. Look at these other countries where it has happened, and what's happened to those citizens there. So be vigilant, leadheads. Keep an eye on what's going on in Virginia, because if any of this, just a sliver of this gets passed through, you're going to see a domino effect, and it's going to be going through all these other states. So be aware. All right. So unless you got anybody else, for the jackwagon, I think that's all I want to do with the jackwagon training this week. But you lead heads, if you've got jackwagon nominations, send them in, talkinglead@gmail.com. And then in the subject, put jackwagon, so I'll know where to file that. Otherwise, it's going to slip through my cracks. I'm very disorganized, so don't send them to me on Facebook. Don't send them to me on Instagram. If you want to send your nominations, email them to me, talkinglead@gmail.com, and put jackwagon in the subject there. All right, so that takes care of our jackwagons. We want to do some heroes now, and Jack, you were recently featured. Is it local news there where you're at that you were on?
Yes, Dallas Morning News picked up an article.
Okay, talk about that, and then we'll talk about that'll lead us into our who one of our heroes is this week.
Yeah, so we went to a sheepdog seminar, and for those who track this, Jimmy Meeks, Carl Chin, Lieutenant Colonel Grossman, they go around the country doing seminars trying to help churches be better prepared.
Okay.
And Jimmy held a local seminar that 750 people showed up for.
Oh, nice.
A few of us that know him, we come in to bring in equipment. Some guys do training. Some people do just different things related to it. And next thing we know, there's a reporter from Dallas Morning News there, Allie Morris, and she runs an article on what we were doing. She's there primarily to interview Jack Wilson, the shooter who took out the bad guy at the West Freeway Church.
Yeah, and he made our Lead Force One hero, Leadhead Brigade heroes a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, so here's Jimmy wanting to bring this guy out to make sure people see Jack Wilson's a good guy, but what was he really? He's a guy who saw the need to train, be vigilant, and be ready. Mm-hmm. That's what Jimmy's trying to do on a much bigger scale. He's probably running sheepdog seminars in 30-plus states now. If people haven't been to one of those seminars, they run anywhere from a couple hours to a couple days. Anytime you see one in your area, it's worth a trip to go check it out because they're all about how to help churches and, by extension, schools be safer and be better prepared.
And just so there's no confusion, Leadheads, this is not part of Sheepdog Impact Assistance, which is the charitable organization that Talking Lead supports. So two different organizations that we're talking about here.
Yeah, it's kind of tough when you start talking sheepdog. That fits a lot of, but he's specifically sheepdog seminars.
Okay.
If they want to look it up, Jimmy Meeks is the guy running it.
Gotcha.
Pretty fascinating guy. He's a preacher for 48 years and retired law enforcement with 35.
Oh, nice. And how long has he been doing this?
I'm sorry, what's that?
How long has he been doing this?
He's on the sheepdog defense thing. He's been at that 10 years because, in his own words, he'd say, I never thought I would be up here telling people how to protect the church.
Yeah.
He said, but when you go home at night, you love your family. What do? You lock your car when you leave it in the driveway. You lock your house. People go to church. Should we not love them as much as we love the people in our house and do everything we can to try to make them safe? We're not trying to be militant or crazy, but you need to be prudent.
So are they doing like active shooter training at the churches? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, typically, we'll come in there and at least put on a scenario for them or two so they can see it. They talk a great deal about how to put in the processes and procedures and the kind of training. Like if you're carrying a weapon and you don't have a tourniquet, you're just flirting with your own life.
Yeah. Or
you bring out common sense stuff.
If you're going to carry a weapon and you haven't taken a proper medical training course, then
exactly. I mean, I saw one guy, he had an accident on his own range and he shot right through his hand.
Oh shit.
If you're 10 miles down the country, I hope you know how to do a tourniquet.
Yeah.
On your own arm.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's something we stress on our show is if you're going to be a responsible firearms carrier, then the medical training is part of that.
Absolutely. And it's so, they do that and they talk about, I just shot somebody at my church. What are the next 2, 3, 4, 5 things you need to do?
Yeah. Unless you shoot him in the head like this guy did, and then you got to worry about him. So.
That's quick call. Yeah. It's like, get out there.
But let me play this little video clip from the Dallas News here that you were a part of.
Sure.
So let me play this.
We just have a burden to help people know how to protect themselves when they're anywhere, but more specifically when they're in a house of worship, because you never know what's going to happen, like what happened at the West Freeway Church of Christ back in December. And I just carry a place for this ministry in my heart. I was married in a church where 40 years ago this year a man walked in. I wasn't there that day, but he walked in the church I was married at, shot 15, killed 5. And so we want to help people learn what they can do. We need to put forth our greatest effort to stop these people, and there are things we can do.
what I hope the outcome of all of this ends up being is getting people to become aware of their surroundings, become aware that they are responsible for the large part for their own safety and well-being, whether they're in church, whether they're in a grocery store, whether they're in Walmart or wherever.
I've been a minister 48 years. Been doing this for about 10 years. This wasn't my choice to do. It's what I'm called to do. So my calling is, and my plea today is, pastors, please love your flock enough to protect them. When you go home at night, don't you roll up the windows on your car, lock the doors. You go in for the night, have supper, kiss those kids goodnight. You lock the windows, lock the doors, secure the garage. You do that because you love your family. Why would you have any less love that turned into protecting them and giving them security? Why would you have any less love when you come to a house of worship?
And there you go. That was Jimmy Meeks, and it says that they are a Tennessee-based company.
I think one of the companies that was there is Tennessee-based. He's actually out of Hurst, Texas.
Okay. It says a Tennessee-based company putting on training in San Antonio later this year runs one scenario where worshipers are armed with guns that fire non-lethal ammunition and then must track down and confront and it should be active shooter. Oh, no, an actor shooting blanks inside the church. Okay. Before they start, participants are told every shot the actor fires represents a child who has been killed. And it said Ken Alexandro of Agate Tactical.
Yeah, that's who's running that's the Tennessee base.
Okay. I've not heard of them before, so I just saw that in this article. But you guys can go to dailynews.com. I'll put a link to this in our show notes as well, so you guys can go and check this out that Jack was a part of there. So what I want to do now, Jack, is we want to talk about this product. We haven't really got in and talked about what your product is here. So this is a good lead in. So we'll wrap up our Trains and Planes segment there by saying that is it Jimmy Meeks?
Jimmy Meeks.
Jimmy Meeks, welcome to the Leadhead Brigade Heroes Lead Force One. So there you go. So that'll lead us into Jack's VT2R product that I was very impressed with during the Antares Alliance Range Day. So talk about this product, what we've been talking about and leading up to.
Well, it's really appropriate to lead with Jimmy because I was at one of his seminars about 3 years ago, and I had people wearing these vests that the ones we had, they vibrate or shock.
Right.
Put on a ball cap and your face is a target. And the training was I'd have people shoot at my chest and they could see the belt light up. And this was using a red CERT pistol.
Okay.
And I said, okay, now take a shot at my face. And what I recognized very quickly was 1 out of 4, and these were people trained, struggled or couldn't make that transition at all from body to face.
Right. Or even pointed at you, period.
It unnerved them completely.
Right, and I noticed that when we were there, there were some people that were trying it out before me. I can't remember the girl's name, but she was some influencer there, and she just couldn't bring herself to point the gun at you because it goes against everything you're trained. You know,
Absolutely.
It's like don't point your gun at something that you're not prepared to destroy. And obviously, you were no threat. You know, and it's hard to train that way. Yeah,
but it is so anti everything you've ever learned because the odds are if you run into an active shooter in close quarters, if they're firing at people, the odds are pretty good your best shot's going to be a face shot.
Yeah.
Or back of the head. Right. That's where you're going to stop that trigger from pulling on that bad guy's weapon quicker. Mm-hmm. It's also the hardest thing you're going to do because every part of your instinct, if you're shooting mass shots, I don't have to make eye contact with you. Mm-hmm. It's not personal. Or you can make it not personal.
Sure.
But the minute you raise that weapon and you're making eye contact or you see that human face and you pull that trigger, that's a whole other layer of there's no way it cannot be personal. You're taking a human life.
Absolutely.
And what I saw were people well trained to do it. And I'm talking about 300 people that came through there.
Yeah.
Many of them struggled. And it's like, how do you know you can do this? There's no good way to train on it because the standard stuff today You never shoot at the face. You're wearing helmets and throat and crotch plates.
Sure, because you got the simunition, and that's still it's projectiles. You're still throwing out projectiles.
Yeah, and so, without trying to say anything negative about them, what I did was try to look at what are the scars. So I can't shoot through glass with simunition, but if I'm in the lobby of a church and I see a bad guy walking in pulling a shotgun, I need to be able to take that shot through glass and not train myself into not shooting through glass.
Mm-hmm.
If you practice enough times on, I can't take that shot through the window, you're going to subconsciously believe eventually you can't take a shot through a window.
Which you can with a real gun.
You absolutely can.
Yeah.
And so I tried to chisel away some of those negative aspects of it. You wear goggles, glasses, or you wear foam inserts. That's it. You don't wear a bunch of other gear with the AdTac system, which is designed to get you to take close shots. You can walk up and do a hostage press and shoot somebody.
Yeah. So talk about the components of your system.
Yeah. So it starts with a barrel that's closed barrel. It's never had a hole through it. So it chambers a unique round of ammo, which is in this case 9mm.
Mm-hmm.
So you get the full report, except we brought it down to about 105, 110 decibels. It's not going to bust your eardrum if the thing fires off in the room.
Okay.
It's loud, but not detrimental.
Sure.
There's no toxic, no lead, fully recyclable brass. So you can shoot anywhere, and you don't have to worry about all the environmental impact. That was the other thing that was important. You get, and you saw it, you get the real smoke.
Uh-huh, yep.
Recoil's indistinguishable from live fire.
Yep.
So we obsessed over making those parts of it right. So when you pull that trigger, every instinct tells you it's a real firearm.
You're getting everything except the projectile.
Exactly. Now, that means I can train anywhere because I've taken out the toxins and the lead. Any place you want to train is free game. You're not going to. Your biggest risk is the action of a Glock moving or the heat coming off the brass. Yeah. Those are your two highest risks with our system. But now I can shoot through glass. I can shoot in close proximity. I can specifically train to shoot you in the face or the head, which you simply can't do on the other systems.
Right.
We're also bringing down the cost of ammo dramatically. I mean, we're looking to be 20, 30% cheaper than what's out there with better fidelity of training. So once we had that done, then we got the exclusive right to this vest we're bringing, which you saw it lights up. Mm-hmm. Instead of a shock or a vibrate, there's lights that come on.
Get a visual report. Yeah.
Because what I would see on the others is I'd come in at the end of a scenario and the guy who took somebody out, you'd look at his belt and he's been hit 10 times.
Right.
That's, if one of those shots was in the tee box, you didn't make the next step, let alone the next 5 shots.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get it quicker where if I line up and you're blinking lights, it's like, dude, you're out. I don't want to make it sound like laser tag, but you need that visual to know that person is no longer.
You're getting hit. But then also, I've heard this that, people are amped up on either the drugs, the adrenaline, or whatever, and it's going to take more than one shot to take them down too. You can shoot somebody 10 times in the center mass, and they can still be coming at you.
Which is kind of the other thing I'd like you to train on is if you did 2 center and 1 head,
mm-hmm.
you'd stop that nonsense. If somebody's running at you because they're amped up, they can't come past the T-box shot.
Right.
Nobody can.
Yep.
And so if you integrate that into part of your own defense or your own tactic, 2 to the body, 1 to the head, you would stop that because it would be freaking you out if you've hit somebody 4 times and they're still running. They've got guys on meth that have taken 10, 12 shots and kept running.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because nobody thought to transition up and take that head shot.
Yeah.
And that's just, to me, that was what was really lacking in all of this is the focus on, I need to always keep in mind core body shots are good.
Mm-hmm.
But in a lot of situations, if a guy's got a switch thumb on a bomb switch, your only shot is a head shot to the tee box.
Yeah.
You hit them anywhere else, that bomb's going off if they're holding a detonator.
Now you're with this system. Originally, you had law enforcement, military in mind, but this is also available to civilians now. Is that correct?
You know, and this is a big part of it. We talked earlier about Second Amendment, and I don't believe in restricting it because I believe every person who carries a firearm has an absolute responsibility to be responsible. And I'm not going to go out and try to assume, do I need to run a background check on you to make sure I think you're capable of firing a firearm?
Mm-hmm.
I think constitutionally you're entitled to have one. If you're not responsible with it, there's already plenty of laws to hold you accountable.
Right.
We don't need a bunch of politicians. But if you want to train more, why should you not be able to train more? You have that freedom. I think that's part of what I spent 33 years trying to make sure you had the freedom to do, was things like that.
And this just opens up.
Will help you.
Yeah, and this just opens up a whole, like you said, a whole other way to train to a level that you've not ever been able to train before, and do it safely. Do it safe, and it gives you more options where to train also. So you can realistically, people, if they're, teaching active shooting at a church, at a school, you can go to that church, that school, and, instead of trying to simulate it somewhere off site, you can go there and you can do the training with this. I don't know what you're calling your ammunition. It's not simunition, but it's
AdTac 9mm ammo.
There you go.
Everything's AdTac. It's the AdTac system.
Like you said, you get everything except the projectile, and then with these vests that you've integrated with it, then you're getting the feedback on your hits that way too. And the range on this, we haven't talked about the range. What kind of range do we have on this?
Well, that was the bonus I got. I went into this being close quarter tactical. I mean, that's what I really wanted. And by the way, if you want to learn how to clear your house,
mm-hmm.
we ought to be able to come teach you how to do that. A great way would be with our gear.
In your house, yeah.
In your own home.
Yeah.
You're not discharging a firearm, and unless it's 80 decibels at your neighbor's door, which it won't be,
mm-hmm.
you're not disturbing the peace.
Sure.
So I can't imagine some states should have trouble, but in most free-thinking states, you could do this.
Probably what you'd want to do is contact your local law enforcement and let them know what you're doing at your house. That way, if a nosy neighbor does call, then they can say,
yeah, we put up signs, reality-based training in progress. No armed people, and that includes police, don't come past this point carrying a weapon.
Right.
But that was all part of the thinking, is to give you the full continuum of training for any kind of you encounter a bad guy with a gun, we can set you literally in any location in any place and train you in that location and in that place. And
yeah,
I'm not going to vet out civilians commercially if people want it. I mean, they're going to sign waivers. You're going to have to agree that you're responsible. But beyond just my own liability, I'm not at all concerned about somebody being able to train on this. There's plenty of instructors out there that I think can really help people improve their own confidence and capability using our gear.
Yeah, and this would be a great addition to those instructors that are out there training, like you said, the close quarter defensive combat skills where they're implementing not only the firearms but blades, pepper sprays, tasers, other type close quarter devices.
Yeah, I put tasers on simulators and teach people to use them as well. So you ask about the accuracy. This was the bonus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I bought some inexpensive targets. They're laser-based. And we started backing up, and we were hitting a 5-inch target at 40 yards with a Glock 17.
Nice.
Indoor or outdoor. Or transition where we're shooting through a house or through a room
mm-hmm.
outside.
Okay.
Then we took our AR-9, which I hope everybody will look on the website and see. It's just a badass weapon.
And give your website so they can go look this as we're talking. They can look at it as we're talking.
Yeah, it's VT2R.com, as in Victor, Tango, the number 2, R as in Romeo.com.
Okay, cool.
And you'll see on there that like the AR, then we took it at 50 yards, outdoors, full daylight, and it's smacking a 5-inch plate.
What?
A buddy of mine who's a Marine, I had him move back to 80 yards. He'd never touched that weapon before, and he's nailing a 5-inch target at 80 yards in full daylight.
Is this using laser technology?
Yeah, so what it is, there's a laser in the barrel.
Okay.
When the weapon fires, It closes the switch on that laser, which sends it one pulse off that laser to whether it's a vest or a target or a firearm simulator,
sure,
which we can integrate with any system you want. We just got to know the technology.
Yeah.
So you could be in a laser video game shooting ducks with this stuff on a laser shot simulator if you wanted to, or killing zombies. You can do it all with the AdTac basic system, the barrel and the ammo. We just hang the laser you need. And so the one training scar is, in theory, I could back up 300 yards and hit a target exactly, because the laser won't drop. At some range, you'd have to realize, wait a minute, that round is going to vector at some point. But
yeah.
Anything under 100 yards, indoors, outdoors, or combination, we can absolutely train marksmanship and close quarter combat. And put it on a simulator, we could shoot skeet with a rifle or a pistol. And you're limited only by your imagination at that point, which is also why it's commercial, not just for law enforcement or armed security.
Sure. And of course, just leave it to an innovative entrepreneur to, come, like you said, to come up with some sort of a game for it, to help with whatever, competition shooting, whatever it may be.
Absolutely.
So that's,
we just want to be there
exciting. Yeah.
Integrate with whatever you want to shoot. We'll figure out how to do it.
So go check them out, Leadheads, at VT2R.com. And that's a virtual tactical training resource. And it's Jack Mills. You guys will see the website there. Do you have a YouTube channel, or you got everything on your website there, videos? And
yeah, VT2R has a YouTube channel as well.
Okay.
If you go to our website, you can click on my LinkedIn or our YouTube channel, or just the other videos we're playing.
Okay. Are you on Instagram, Facebook, all that too?
Yeah, that's what I should have said. It's Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram are icons right on our landing page.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of stuff integrated on our page as well, but we also take it right out of stuff. And
I'll have links in the show notes as well, Leadheads, that you guys can click on that. And we didn't talk the price on this. So for your starter kit, what are we looking at?
Yeah, so keep in mind, right now we're at the beginning, so my quantities are low.
Sure.
A vest runs $2,400 with the ball cap. Ammo is going to be about 45 cents a round. The barrel and the laser are running about a $500 investment. The AR9 is going to be about $1,000. That's buying two. If somebody wants to buy more, then we got to talk. Obviously, as we get on quantity, prices will come down.
Sure.
The whole theory behind this for me, what started me, was I want to find those veterans or law enforcement or people that do training.
Mm-hmm.
You think about this, 4 of my vests with barrels and ammo is well below $15,000 investment in a Pelican case that you could easily take out and charge $1,000 for a single day of training.
Yeah. And, you and I were talking earlier off air before we started. There are several companies out there now that are specializing in active shooter training, where they're going to schools, they're going to churches, they're going to businesses. They're going to Fortune 500 companies and teaching people there how to react to active shooters. Not necessarily teaching these people how to shoot and defend themselves, but as this church was saying, you've got an actor that's going around and shooting, and how these people could react in different ways, that don't have firearms. So,
well, we were just at a church on Sunday, and it was with our partners at Law Shield, U.S. Law Shield, Texas Law Shield. We went into a congregation where they wanted to understand active shooter. They're setting up their security team, their safety team, but they invited their congregants to stay. Mm-hmm. So they would also have an idea of what it sounds like, because normalcy bias will make you think that gunfire is anything but gunfire.
Right. Trying to justify something non-life-threatening, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like, that can't be happening. That just can't be happening here.
It's got to be something else.
Yeah.
And what we saw coming out of there was these people, you say it over and over, if you're caught in a public place, if you go running and you don't know where the bad guys are, you may run yourself right into a crossfire and get shot.
Yeah.
So no matter where you are, your best bet's to hit the floor, get down low. If you're carrying, pull your weapon for your own defense, because sometimes they'll come down shooting down rows in a church, and then you might have that shot. But if I jump up in the middle of a church and I shoot the bad guy right in the face, as a police officer walks in, what does he see? He sees me shooting a guy in the face.
Mm-hmm.
There's every chance I'm going to take a bullet because I'm not part of that safety team. I'm not part of the solution.
All right.
I just made myself part of the problem.
Yeah.
And you don't know this stuff if you don't train on it. I mean, look at Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
That girl was in that room. They got shot 3 times, as did everybody in that room.
Jeez.
They're all adults. What did they know? She grabbed her chair like they did in earthquake drills in California. Because that's the teaching she had to fall back on.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever said, God, when you hear what's gunfire, you think it may be slam a desk in front of the door, get 10 people behind it.
Yeah.
You can't deny entry. Grab a flagpole. I wish every classroom had a fire extinguisher with chemical.
Right.
Because
use that. Yeah, you definitely use that.
Everything, all your moisture's gone, and you can't see for 45 seconds. And what's the harm in having a small fire extinguisher in my kid's classroom?
Other than you get some smart ass kid that's going to go around and spray people in the face, you know.
But I've never thought about this.
But that's a good. I mean, something I've not really thought about though. But yeah, I mean, they train for everything else other than the active shooter, and what are they going to? They're going to fall back on what they're trained to do. So, like you said, that one chick was trained for earthquakes, and she went and grabbed her chair. You know,
yeah.
And
real still, she knew she was going to get shot each time. And if you haven't heard her video in a while, it's compelling because all but 2 people in that classroom died because that guy left and came back 3 times.
Jeez.
And
uncontested.
It never occurred to anybody, let's not let him at the door. Let's stop him.
Yeah.
And
unbelievable.
If you've never had that training, you wouldn't know. Your instinct would be to run, probably.
Yeah.
But my kids are back in the classroom. I've really got that instinct to jump and run. Worst possible scenario, if you have people there that are going to respond for you, like a security team.
Absolutely.
Let them do their response.
And it's great that you have come out with this product. I mean, it's another viable option for people to not only active shooter training, but just self-defense training. You can take it to a whole new level with Jack's virtual tactical training resource. So check him out, VT2R.com. And we're going to get into our SHOT Show interviews now, Jack. We've got a whole slew that we're going to do. Like I said, we're going to hit you guys with the Kel-Tec interview that we did. And, of course, Buck Knives was the official lead quarters for the 2020 SHOT Show. And I've been messing around with several of their tactical line knives that they've got now. They've come out with a very nice tactical line. They've got the ground combat knives, and they've got that Talon. You can go to their website. They've got them listed there. But then, of course, over the hunting season, you guys know that I was up there around November, and I picked up a couple of nice skinners and hunting knives. I got one of their Sentries. I've got their the Omni Hunter, which is a nice skinner. And then probably one of my favorite pocket knives that I've had in a long time is their they call it the Czar, and it's kind of a hybrid tactical rescue kind of knife where it's got a seatbelt cutter, it's got a glass breaker on it, but just the feel of that knife is really nice. And to kind of tie that in, we were introduced to Jason Johnson, who is a pro knife thrower. He's a professional knife thrower at SHOT Show, and he's had some shows on the History Channel, so some of you lead heads may have heard him. So we're going to have Jason Johnson on this episode and a couple of more of our cool interviews from the 2020 SHOT Show. So we're going to bring those to you now. All right, lead heads, we are back at the 2020 SHOT Show, coming at you from the lead quarters.
Buck Knives.
There you go, of Buck Knives. Sponsors of the Talking Lead podcast, this 2020 SHOT Show. And you brought a guest along with you,
Yes,
Brooksy.
sir. Yeah, we brought in Jason Johnson.
Professional knife thrower. I didn't know there was such a thing as professional knife throwers. So you're making a living at this, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be pretty damn good to be doing that, right?
Well, it's an interesting thing, man. It's been a wild ride for me for the last 4 years, but I've been throwing knives since the Berlin Wall had fallen.
Okay.
So I'm about 9 years old, in the 80s, throwing knives, and living in a small town. You didn't have much to do.
Right.
Watched too many martial arts movie marathons as a kid.
I love those.
Right.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah, so get out there, and what I did was I didn't have anybody else to tell me what I could do or couldn't do. So logic, science, and application actually was the driving force. So when it comes to throwing knife, it became how can I control the rotation of the knife as opposed to just throwing it like a stick or a rock.
Or rock,
whatever, right? Yeah. So it's been a wild ride coming out of the woodwork. I think I came out of the woodwork with a video where I throw a soda can like 20 feet and pin it to the target with a knife. And it became the farthest thrown object pinned to a target with a knife, a world record.
So wait a minute. So you threw a can and then you threw a knife.
Right. So I throw the can first, and I see where it's going to hit the target because you got to make all three intersect at one time.
Right.
Like the wide receiver and the quarterback same time. So you throw and then you hit where the knife's where it's going to stick.
Yeah.
And that way.
And then the force of the knife will carry it into the target.
Right. So, I mean, it's just training for a moving target, and I've done it for a lot of years in my life, but I never really recorded it because it was like the first cell phone I ever had that could take video, and I was like, well, shit, I'll video it, So, and it became like a thing. Everybody called me a wizard and a warlock and all kinds of weird stuff. And I was
or photoshopping or something like that.
So
it wasn't real.
Right. And then people are like, how do you throw this way, and what distance are you? Everybody asked me that in the knife throwing community. What is the distance? And I'm like, I've never measured before in my life what the distance is. So I actually pulled out a tape and measured how far I was. I was like, wow, I didn't realize I was 23, 25 feet. But in my method of throwing, think of it like this: 10 feet or less, it doesn't spin at all. Delivery rate's 100%, just like I'm projecting a saber cut forward.
Okay.
After 10 feet to about 30 feet, it only spins once. So if I'm controlling that spin, how much does balance really matter? It doesn't. So what it becomes is I'm actually projecting that cut forward, and that'll go through about 2,500 pages in a phone book. I can. We've thrown through 65 layers of a bulletproof vest.
And Kevlar. I guess the reason you know that is because you've done that.
Yeah,
several times.
We've recorded it. It's a jaw-dropping thing even for myself. Coming up and seeing what physics actually translates into being. It's fun for me. You know what I mean? I get to throw through car doors and bulletproof vests, and we've tested. Innocent Armor sent me some gear recently, which is their plain clothes bulletproof gear. Down vests look like inconspicuous gear. And I warned them, just so you know, that knife is going to go right through that vest. And they're like, really? And I was like, yeah, both panels.
It don't stop knives.
It doesn't stop it. Right. But, the physics is now just becoming to where, I mean, shoot, man, you look up in the encyclopedia, it says you can't throw a knife as hard as you can stab it because you're only throwing the weight of the knife. And when you stab, you have your body weight. And I'm like, that's the wrong public school thinking. You know what I mean? Because, I've taught guys like Max Mullen, Army Ranger Hall of Famer, served in Grenada. He's Universal or Martial Arts Hall of Fame. He's got a dossier so long I don't even know. But he's a good buddy of mine. And I'm showing him what I'm doing, and he's going, are you kidding me? And, like Pat McNamara, Ray Cash-Care, those guys, Wes Whitlock, those are those are my heroes,
Sure.
And I go down to Texas, and Wes knows what I did. And he's like, yeah, we're going to teach you guys some knife throwing. And, Pat's like, knife throwing. I could tell, because the common thought, what's that circus style.
Yeah, who's going to throw a knife? Yeah.
And I threw that first knife, and Pat McNamara just goes, holy S-bomb. He's just couldn't believe it. And he was like, really? And then once I showed him that it's actually applicable, it can be done just by looking at the target. Any way you can make a cut, you can throw a knife and deliver it effectively, which was widely known historically before we started shooting things like bows and arrows. Cultures didn't war like they did until we started shooting things to each other.
Right.
Because personal combat disappeared. You know what I mean? It became we're shooting arrows instead of throwing spears and using blades.
Spears,
right? Yeah, and using knives to cut people apart. So it's a lot more personal and conflict when you have to go hand to hand. And warrior or elites, leaders wouldn't have men war so frivolously if it was like that.
Sure.
So there's things to take into consideration of historical relevance, and I didn't have anybody telling me what I could and couldn't do, man. So it's been a trip. And
now, are you throwing just like crazy shaped objects and making them stick?
So you asked me, do I make a living at this? And I'm like, well, yeah. And so there's two different methods of throwing. One is throwing for competition, which in a lot of competitions there's money that can be won and stuff, but that's a totally different method. My main bread and butter is I teach police, military, and special forces how to disassemble somebody with the blade. I do
more self-defense.
Close quarters disassembly with the blade in your hand, as well as implemented throwing. And once I get done with these guys and they realize that, look, I can have a can of soup in any non-permissive environment in the world, and I can collapse your chest with it, and it's a can of soup. And once they realize that, look, it's a transfer of technique. It doesn't have to be a knife. It's going to do the same thing in the time that I need it to do it, whether it sticks or not.
Right.
I'm either using it as a throw and go or, throw and attack weapon. You know what I mean? I'm bridging the gap to deliver a transfer of force. The blade doesn't stop. I've had guys say, what can you throw a knife through? Well, I've thrown it through a deer. You take a knife without handle scale, so it's just
through a deer.
Yeah, so it's just skinny. Just one flat blade, and it's sharp. Nothing stops that.
Have you measured the force of your throws? Is there a way to do that?
If you find someone to be able to do that, you put me in touch with them, my friend, because it's like this. The weight of the knife times the speed of the travel is your foot-pounds of force. E equals MC squared.
All right.
But you have to reduce that to micro inch pounds and now to 0 because it's sharpened. Mm-hmm. So how do you measure the actual penetration force to what point? Only when the profile starts to be gained in size, when the knife penetrates, can you actually measure its resistance of penetration.
What if... those punches, they have those punches that
punch
measure
meters, right?
Punch meters. Could you not throw into one of those and
the problem is it'll go into the punch meter and it won't.
Well, you could do like a steel.
Sure.
A steel thing, and it's gonna.
But that measures the steel surface. It won't measure how much force I'm putting on the point of the knife, right? So look at it this way: if I take a bulletproof vest and shoot it with a broadhead, what happens? It goes right through it.
Yeah.
It doesn't even stop because you're putting all that force of the weight of it onto a very sharp edge. Unlike a bullet, has much more surface area. It may be going faster, but it weighs way less. Mm-hmm. And it's going, it has much more surface area, and that's what catches and stops the round in a bulletproof vest. Well, the knife is ground to 0, so its penetration force is almost incalculable until it starts to gain in size. Yeah. So, I travel around doing a lot of private classes, demos. I've had guys travel to me at my house in Nebraska from all over the world. Athens, Greece, Special Forces dudes came to my house, and just so many people. Justin Melnick from CBS, the SEAL team, I taught him how to throw knives, and he's actually a cop in New York.
Cool.
Really cool guy, and it's just been a
wild
drive.
So these people that you've trained, and I mean, you could probably tell a little bit, but you don't have to give names or anything like that, but are people actually using this? Have they used this to defend themselves or to
Sure. So
whatever they do,
Traditionally, guys that seek me out have been in situations that they want better training because of what happens, in situations. So, like I show people, a stab is almost ineffective. If you stab in, you cut out. But I can butcher a cow in 6 hours by myself. So there's a lot to be learned from butchering of animals, which I'm sure you've done yourself. Mm-hmm. And where to cut, what to cut, why to cut, to shut someone off. Same thing with the bullet. You can shoot someone and injure them, or you can shoot someone and disable them. Just depends on what it hits. Yeah. So when I'm showing guys what to cut, where to cut, how to cut, I'm not showing them 50 different moves. I'm not showing them all this stuff. I'm showing them what, why, how, and how to do it.
Now, you're not just teaching the throwing, you're teaching
how to shut somebody off in close quarters.
Close quarters.
So, I ask cops all the time, what's your biggest fear? And they all have the same consensus.
Cut.
Well, no, I mean, their biggest fear as a cop, and they all come up to the same consensus in different words is, what's your biggest fear? When my weapon falls out of battery, someone's over top of me taking my life, and there's no one to help me. Right? So, and that's it. I mean, we've seen the videos and everybody knows what happens. I mean, that's a big fear. If my weapon fails to fire or,
they lose control of the situation.
Right. And someone's over top of them. So I teach them to take a small 3.5-inch 4-inch blade and disassemble or disable the movement of the actual person. You have to stop them from being able to move. Look, you can have your guts fall out on the ground and still move, still be fighting. We've seen guys get shot so many times and continue. You saw the one in Chicago recently where the guy had a knife and was charging at that cop, and he actually put a couple stabs to that cop. It was like 9-10 rounds the guy fired, didn't drop him. He finally afterwards fell over from the injuries catching up to disable him. But if he'd shot to disable him, which isn't the easiest thing to do under duress, it really isn't. Look, I tell cops all the time, and you always tell the ones that have been doing something or have seen some stuff, because they won't laugh. They know what I'm talking about. I'm like, look, guys, your first 3 rounds you fire when you have to fire rounds, it's a bad dream. You're going, why is it not doing anything? I don't see anything happening. The guy's still carrying on his continued.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who put blanks in my gun? Right. Yeah. And it's a scary thing, but you give them the information so they have something to process and digest. So that way they break off the X. They step off the line of the guy coming at them because they know that's trained to them. So they know, I'm not just going to stand here and try to drop the guy. And then they go, why is he not stopping? So, there's training that goes into it. But that blade is the same as the gun when it comes to disabling.
Now, when you're talking about this, so I watched this movie recently. I probably watched it like 4 times on my way here on the plane and stuff like that. John Wick 3.
Yeah.
The knife fight that they're doing in that,
Yeah. You want to know what the most accurate representation of a knife throw on the silver screen actually was that I've ever seen? You remember the movie
Crocodile
Commando?
Dundee?
Nope. That was a good scene, though. He hit him in the butt of the knife in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called the butt stick. Master Ken coined that term. You ever see that video him and I did? Yeah, he's like, he threw the knife and it happened to stick by the butt when I was showing it, in the video.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's a butt stick.
A butt stick.
You ever heard of a butt stick? And I was like, I think so. And he's like, I got one in the truck. I think he's funnier than heck. But
what was the movie?
The movie was
most accurate knife. You said Commando.
The most accurate representation of a real knife throw that I've seen was in Commando, when Arnold Schwarzenegger turns around and throws that big bayonet blade at the guy, and it goes boom, and he goes, stick around. Remember that?
Yeah.
And it goes right through the guy and pins him to the wall. The only thing they got wrong was the guy wasn't screaming bloody murder that he got a knife thrown through him. He died right away. Like, no, it wouldn't. It would be screaming bloody murder. Yeah, would he be pinned to the wall? Of course.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you earlier, I throw a knife through a deer because the blade doesn't stop. When I talk to military field medics and stuff, and we actually get to nerd out on like the biological aspects of what goes on when I throw a knife and injuries and shrapnel and all that kind of thing.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't know about the hard membrane that covers your organs. They don't know that a stab, you can get stabbed 20 times and maybe only 6 or 7 of those will actually penetrate an organ, because the speed of the knife stab, the fact that it might not be super sharp, and the organs are very tough to cut.
You got bones and everything in the way.
Well, I mean, the actual, like your liver and all that stuff has a membrane.
The membrane.
Yeah, and that's hard to cut. You've cut.
Deer.
Yeah, deer, the same thing.
Harvested deer. Yeah.
Different animals actually have different types of membranes. Human, according to their age, gender, and their age and gender, and sometimes their heritage can change how that membrane is in the body. Some are thicker than others. Some have yellowing to them. When you age, they get thicker, they get tougher. So there's a lot of demographic and variables that we cover.
A lot of science that goes into this.
Yeah, a lot of science, and it's really cool to experiment. But you take a blade that has no scales on it, and some buddies of mine, we had a deer one time without being gutted because it was a high backstrap shot, if you know what I'm talking about, and it was one we had tracked for a ways, and I'm like, I'm taking this home, we're going to test it.
Oh, yeah.
Because we use the guts for other things, too. I mean, we use them for bait, we use them for tracking, we use them for the old Indian methods.
Yeah.
And so I put that knife up and took my handle scales off my knife, and it was a cold steel true flight thrower. And it's a single edge, straight blade, razor sharp, unwrapped the handle so it's just flat.
Okay.
And I go, are you guys ready? And they're like, yeah. And I didn't know, because this is the first time I'd ever tested that. Yeah. I threw that thing, and I just saw the fur fluff. You know when you shoot like with a bow?
Mm-hmm.
See that fur fluff?
Right.
And I kind of blinked, and I was going, what in the heck? Well, we gutted that deer, and I had chainmail gloves on. We're gutting that deer, and I'm slicing open. I'm pulling guts out, looking for it real quick. No knife. Well, you know the inside of a rib cage is real smooth, right? The deer's rib cage is smooth.
On the inside, yeah.
Of course. And I'm feeling around, no knife, and then you could feel that tiny. Well, I didn't feel it at first. I started seeing the red of the actual wound on the other side of the rib cage, and I was like, no way. And I put my finger in it. Well, it had cut part of the rib and slipped right through. What we figured out was it was 5 foot on the other side of the deer laying on the grass with some lung butter on it.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And which is amazing to see. And, at the time, it was 10 years ago or so.
Sure.
And I talked to medics about it later, and they're like, and I'm explaining what I think is happening, and they're like, you're right. And what happens is when I throw that knife and it hits flesh, it almost sheathes it, and it stops its rotation. Because first of all, it's already spinning very slowly. Remember I said one rotation, or no rotation. So it's not spinning fast. It's driving forward.
Right.
Once it hits those organs, it stabilizes its rotation, because it's like slipping it into a fleshy sheath.
Yeah, it's put it in its sheath.
Yeah, so the inertia just drives forward. Yeah, and I was like, wow,
Because it's got nowhere to, it can't turn anymore.
It can't tilt anymore, right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got the friction of the both sides of the flesh. So
you got it. You got it, man. And it's just a wild
and the lubricity of the organs.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, and and what we were talking about is disabling versus injury.
Yeah, I've been wanting to say lubricity all day.
I'm going to have to use that word now in a sentence.
There you go.
But, we were talking about injuring versus disabling.
Right.
I had a squirrel in my backyard that used to like stealing my chicken's food. And I'm like...
Used to is the key word there.
Used to.
I know what's coming.
So, he would steal my chicken's food, and I'd be like, hey, you get out of there, and he'd bark at me on the tree. Well, one time I threw a knife at him and pinned him to the tree with a knife. And that squirrel, on a squirrel, the knife is like from our shoulder to our hip across his body. It's big compared to the squirrel size. That thing let go of the tree and tried to pull the knife out.
Really?
And that was the most determined, logical thing I'd ever seen nature do. Of grabbing the knife blade and biting it, I can see the squirrel doing, but trying to pull out was the strangest
trying
thing.
To pull it out.
Yes, out instead of just biting it or just, whatever.
Yeah.
It was just crazy to
Take
see.
it he didn't succeed.
No, I freaked out. I was like, whoa, and I ran up and cut his head off real quick. Obviously I didn't waste it, but
no, keep talking.
Yeah, that was a wild thing to be able to see, man. It was I'll tell you, after that, what happened, the Ruger Air Magnum 22 caliber pellet rifle?
Yeah.
My buddy shot one with one of those, and it shot it in the tail, and it actually severed the tail from the squirrel, and the lead from the round somehow pinned it into the bark of this maple tree.
The tail?
Yeah. The squirrel took off running up the tree
without his tail,
barking and freaking out, and about 2 minutes later, the thing comes back down the tree and tries to pull his tail out.
Really?
I could not believe it. Like, just think about it trying to pull its tail out. That's just as a nature.
He's like, wait a minute, I left something behind.
I want to put it back. Like, are you going to pin the tail back on the squirrel? No, it's not going to work, man.
That's hilarious.
It's gone. So. But
that would be a good video.
But it's a really interesting demographic because people forget things that have been said in history, like "you killed me." You ever heard that phrase?
Of course.
It used to be uttered a long time, for a long time before medical attention could do the things that it could do. The phrase "you killed me" was uttered quite a bit. You shoot somebody in the lower abdomen, it's going to take them some hours to die. And they acknowledge that they were dead. So the fact that there's so much that's just been forgotten of close quarters stuff. I mean, everybody trains on guns and all that stuff, and I get it. I love, I train firearms as well, and I grew up with them and all that stuff. But there's a reason why they want me to go down to Africa and train those women, because you can't use a gun like that in close quarters in the bush. You know what I mean? There's plenty of times.
Now, wait a minute, you're going to Africa to train women?
Yeah, so a company called the Different Rhythm Foundation reached out to me, and they want me to go down to South Africa and train the Akashinga women, which are women that fight poachers. They're actually natives there. They're like the villager women. British Special Forces guy is the one that started them. And it makes sense because African women know everything that's going on. They're women. They hear all the hubbub. They hear all the rumors. They know what's going on.
Yeah.
So they took those women and they trained them how to fight poachers. Not on, but in the African bush.
Okay.
And poachers won't
fight them with guns or with knives or
knives,
whatever?
Everything, yes. They stop poachers. And these women, I kind of was reluctant. And then they sent me a couple videos of those women doing their thing, and I was like, okay, they're ready. These women are
because
tough.
It's legal to kill poachers in Africa,
oh, yeah.
isn't it?
But you have to be an African native to carry a gun. So you can't, I couldn't go there and carry a firearm.
Unless you're a contractor, though, right?
Nope, it has to be private property. Even as a contractor, I cannot carry a firearm. It's private property, or you're an African native. So anytime you see a military guy or whatever going down there, from what I've been told, they're on sanctuaries or on private properties when they're
carrying.
When they're doing that, which is fine.
And that's probably what I'm referring to.
Sure, there's been a few organizations that have done that in the past. But I just watched these women, and I was like, oh, they're ready. These women are dedicated. They're tough. They're legit, yeah. And
so I'm like, you have gone down there, or you're going down there?
We're going down there this year, apparently.
Okay,
so,
well, that'd be exciting.
Which, I'd love to go see the most beautiful continent on the planet, right?
Yeah.
And if I make it back, that would be worth it, even if I don't.
Maybe throw a knife through a Cape buffalo or something.
We're going there to help protect animals, so we want to. But you know what? Those women, they saw the Primal Habitat utility cutting tool that I'm developing, and they were just like, we need that in the African bush. And
so you're developing your own.
There's
your
only
own
two
knife?
that exist right now. One of them's going out for prototyping. My saber tooth and the baby tooth and that Primal are like my three main tools that I've developed over 30 years. So all the science of my throwing and all that stuff has gone into those saber teeth, which are patent pending. And they're, which is a fixed blade.
Now, is there a website or somewhere where we can go and check these out?
You can go to realjasonjohnson.com. That's my webpage. That'll basically intertwine you with all my other stuff. But if you just search Pro Knife Thrower on Instagram, Facebook, or anything else like that, you'll find me. And that's I've got a few videos out there where Jerry Michelik's the world's fastest shooter.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm apparently the world's fastest knife thrower, and we have some fun putting the video together. So if you all check out my page, you'll be able to see
try to
some
outdo
fun
one
stuff.
another?
Just for fun, because, it's cool to see what the two fastest people in their industries can do, And
absolutely.
So we don't really announce the times or anything, but the results are clear, and we have a lot of fun. We'll be doing some stuff together in the future. Jerry's one of my idols, man. I've been watching him since 1995.
Yeah, I think everybody idolizes Jerry.
And how can you not? He's such a great guy.
He is.
You know what I mean? And
now you did a TV show not too long ago too, right? You were on a TV show. Talk about that and where people can go and then.
So there's a show on the History Channel called Knife or Death, and it was Forged in Fire's Knife or Death.
Oh, okay.
And it was a pretty cool show. It was a competition cutting, which is a super wild cutting competition where I go on with a kukri and we get to cut like they give you a course, but there's like old frozen deep sea fish and chickens and bamboo and just all these courses of crazy cutting competition. I just blow through that thing like you wouldn't believe, man. Like Goldberg was one of the judges and Tulam was one of the judges, and they just couldn't keep up with me. It's so funny listening to their commentary because to me, I'm just like, yeah, let's go cut some stuff, and they're like, we can't keep up with this guy. Let's, he said something like, let's sit back and watch this beauty run, which is hilarious, And at SHOT Show last year, I'm walking down the thing, and Goldberg, sneaks up behind me, gives me a big old bear hug. What are you doing? Picks me up off the ground, But yeah, it's cool meeting people like that. And
like,
doing
that better than that Goldberg.
Yeah, I know.
As you're stabbing him.
No, Goldberg's a great guy, man, and they say never meet your heroes, but I've met a lot of my own in the military world and the shooting world, and I say, you know what? That's not true at all.
You've met some interesting cats, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, I know. So it's been a lot of fun
now,
recently.
Have you got any projects coming up or TV shows or anything like that?
Yeah, so
people can catch you?
We've got a lot of things coming up. We'll be doing stuff with Jerry, and with any luck, we'll be designing some stuff with some companies you may have heard of.
Yeah, maybe the official headquarters here at Buck Knives.
Right, and we'll get some cool stuff going in. I'm all about form and function. I'm all about inclusivity, not exclusivity. I travel all around teaching what I love to people and showing people what they can actually do to be able to defend themselves. You know what I mean? You got 10,000 crimes that happen with firearms in this country a year, on average. And that means there's 10,000 times that somebody didn't or couldn't defend themselves lawfully with a weapon.
Right.
So that,
Amen.
800,000 people kidnapped in this country a year.
Holy
kidnapped
cow.
or trafficked. And that's an astronomical number. And I'd prefer if my job gave people the ability to be able to defend themselves, walk with confidence, and be able to know what they're capable of. So
give your contact info one more time, your social media, your website, and all that.
Sure. Pro Knife Thrower, RealJasonJohnson.com. You can find me there. Hopefully you guys see me around, and if I do a lot of training and stuff, we'll be down in Arizona in March. So yeah, Pro Knife Thrower. You'll find me wherever cool. Good knife throwers are sold.
Jason, I greatly appreciate you taking time to be on the show and
not a problem.
And talking to the lead heads, man.
Yeah, it's been an honor, my friend.
Absolutely. You guys go check out Jason on all his social medias and his website, and I guess History Channel. You can go check out maybe those reruns still running.
Knife or Death are running, I guess now. I don't get watch TV anymore because I'm so busy, but apparently they're running. But it's a lot of fun.
I'm going to go check them out, definitely.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
All right, we got more coming from the 2020 SHOT Show from the official headquarters here at Buck Knives. Brooksy.
Excellent. Thanks, lead heads. Thanks, Jason.
No problem. It's been an honor.
The ones on the bottom?
Yeah. No, well, the one right up the top.
Oh.
It's a little scroll we did today.
Oh, okay.
For the launch there.
Nice. The Mossy Oak.
Yeah.
Twisted Egg Mossy Oak.
Twisted Eggs Mossy Oak.
Twisted Eggs. Meats. Conservation.
Comfort meets conservation.
Is that what I missed that? I just saw meats.
Yeah,
Comfort. There it is. Comfort.
Well, I know you're used to seeing meat, so that's okay. Right?
Conservation. Well,
You're a metasaurus.
I'm a metasaurus.
Metasaurus Rex.
All right, leadheads, we are back at the 2020 SHOT Show, bringing it to you from the official lead quarters at Buck Knives. And joining me now, we have, and we would like to welcome to the Leadhead family, Leadhead Brigade family.
Love it.
Brandon, you've been on the show before, though, right?
I have, yeah.
Didn't you do our hunting show a couple of weeks ago where we took the vets out from the Sheepdog Impact Assistance?
Yeah, I think it was, a couple months back now.
A couple of months now, yeah. So we got Brandon with Twisted X joining us.
Glad to be here.
And you probably already know because you've probably seen her post, social media live. So it's probably no news to you, but Brandon, break the news to them. Drop the bomb.
Yeah, so we're here officially at SHOT Show to unveil our partnership with Mossy Oak. So we just partnered with those fine folks here. Launched actually 2 days ago. So we actually made the official announcement about the partnership. Really exciting time for us. Mossy Oak as a company, much like our company, has a lot of sustainability.
Get a little closer. Now don't be shy.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah.
Cool. So just our brands together are very similar minded, right? So they're obviously the camo for conservation. We have, our Shoes with Purpose talks all about our sustainability story, our initiatives. So it just made a lot of sense for us to partner with them because we are like-minded companies. And, our products have already been out there and been speaking to the hunting and outdoor community, but we as a brand haven't really been talking about it. So this is a great way for us to do that and make that happen. And, we just felt Mossy Oak was the best, camo brand out there for us to partner with.
Yeah, very cool. And you guys did the unveiling here at SHOT Show at the Mossy Oak booth.
Yep, we're here all week with them.
And you've got a line of your shoes, your boots that are using the Mossy Oak camo pattern.
Correct, yeah. So we've got 6 styles that are at once right now available in select retailers and coming to more retailers here soon. 4 men's styles, 2 ladies. Also have some other things coming out here for an August release that's going to kind of double down on that assortment.
Yeah.
But everything's featuring the Mossy Oak original bottomland camo pattern right now.
Very cool. Very cool. And we also made the big announcement just a couple episodes before SHOT Show that Twisted X is the official footwear of the Leadhead Brigade for the 2020 SHOT Show.
That just makes me happy on so many levels.
It's just me too. My feet are so happy on so many levels. You don't understand.
I know. I love it. And it's crazy because I'm walking around here. We've had people come by the booth and they see the shoes and they're like, "Oh, you guys are here! Look!" And everybody's like holding their feet up in the middle of the booth, pointing to their feet. I love my Twisted
X. Yeah.
You know, and then now I've got half the Mossy Oak guys right with the partner shoes, and they're sitting there. They're like, "We love ours too."
Oh
it's been a blast.
So I'm rocking the cowboy boots today. What line have I got on here?
So you got on our Rancher Classics there specifically. So just some nice leather outsole boots. Just really good soft goatskin uppers. Just really beautiful boot all around, all black.
Yeah, and I wore them all day yesterday, and we're halfway through the day today, and I haven't even noticed that I'm wearing boots. They're that comfortable.
Yeah, and that's the fun thing about our brand is everything for us ties back to comfort. Right, comfort is the main story. And then obviously sustainability and those initiatives are key for us. But at the end of the day, it all comes back to comfort because you got to have a good shoe. You got to have a shoe people want to wear.
Right.
And that's what the brand centers around. And then once you get that done, then you can do the other fun things like the outdoor partnership with Mossy Oak, like the sustainability initiatives. But it's all got to come back to that.
That's another thing that impressed me with your company and why I wanted to partner with you guys is that you are conservation minded. The sustainability, and you've got a line of shoes that definitely addresses that. So talk about your shoes there.
So the EcoTwix line is footwear for us, right? It started with 20 styles initially, and it was basically based on a material where we take 55% recycled plastic water bottle material, blend that with some natural fibers that we can actually make into a fabric, into a canvas that then we can make shoes out of, right? So that was the initial initiative, but now we've grown that so much further. We've got our EcoHusk outsoles that bring in rice husk as an agricultural waste byproduct, help us minimize the carbon footprint of the shoes through that initiative. We're also working on a molasses derivative EVA.
Molasses?
Yep. They take polymers that's derived from molasses, and they can help make EVA.
Or
reduce some of the harsh chemical content of the EVA to help make that a more sustainable material. And it's crazy because it actually makes it lighter and makes it a little more durable.
So would these be shoes that you could eat?
It's funny, yeah. We kicked around the idea of calling them the edibles. And
the edibles.
That took on a different connotation depending on where you're at in this country.
Yeah, that's a different website.
Yeah, yep. Talk about that down the road.
So I had a guy on here, you're talking about making the shoes from the plastic material. They were making underwear from bamboo.
Yep. So
it's just amazing to me the technology that we have nowadays where you could take a piece of wood or you take a piece of plastic and you turn that into something that your most private areas are going to be comfortable and happy with, so like your feet.
Yeah. No, I mean it's crazy. It's cool because the innovation is nonstop. So for us, we kind of challenge ourselves internally as a brand to have some type of new materials or a new comfort technology every 6 to 8 months. We work on a very quick to market, kind of strategy.
Right.
And with that, it's tough, but the great thing is we're kind of in like a tech boom when it comes to materials and comfort and, footwear. Everybody always thinks of a tech boom when it comes to like computers.
Sure.
But, just all the learnings we've had and, chemical makeup, construction makeup, it's bleeding into all these other industries, and it's really cool that we get to be making a product that takes advantage of some of that technological advancement.
Yeah, now you guys are based out of Texas, is that right?
Yep, we're in Decatur, Texas is where our corporate offices are at, 45 minutes northwest of the DFW Metroplex. So we're there, small, tight-knit team, and rocking it and loving it.
Heck yeah. So tell all the lead heads where they can go and look at your latest line, because like you said, you've got some more stuff going to be dropping here in the next couple of months.
Oh, yeah.
New products, so, in addition to the Mossy Oak.
Absolutely, yeah. You can find our products at fine retailers, like we partner with Boot Barn, with Cavender's if you're tapped into that Western market. Also work with several other great folks on the e-commerce platform. We've got Outdoor Equipped, we've got Zappos, products are in Dillard's. So, there's lots of different places, the Leddies can find some Twisted X products.
Very cool, very cool. Brandon, thank you so much for taking the time to be on and sponsoring the Talking Lead podcast here at the 2020 SHOT Show.
Yeah,
Greatly appreciate it. We're looking forward to doing more with Twisted X in the future.
Absolutely.
And if you guys have any questions related to Twisted X, you just send me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com. Of course, you can go to their website, their Instagrams, their Facebooks, and then you can follow them on there and let them know that you're a Leadhead and you heard about them here on the Talking Lead podcast.
Yeah, please do. Let us know, and we'll definitely work to show you some love.
Very cool. Brandon, thank you so much, and we're going to get to it here. We got more interviews coming up. You got all kinds of meetings you got to get to.
Yeah.
You got to push these shoes, man.
That's it. SHOT Show's a crazy place, but it's crazy in a good way.
That's right.
So,
all right, guys.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be back with more from the 2020 SHOT Show here from the official headquarters at Buck Knives.
I'm going to teach you how to play blackjack. We went to 4 tables in 5 minutes, and you lost like $800. He's like, well, you win some, you lose some. I'm like, well, you didn't win any, so you pretty much lost some.
That just means Grandma didn't get her new hip. That's all that means.
Damn it,
Poor
Grandma. Gotta love her. So turn your mics on. I think they turned them off. Yours is on, Chad.
Yeah.
Test.
You gonna do a live?
Test.
Yeah.
You gonna do live?
Yeah.
I mean,
What's wrong with this mic?
Coming at you in 3DX, the Talking Lead podcast.
You don't realize he's live right now.
Sweet. Hey, Christy, did you hear that? Right on your seat.
You know you love it.
From the lead quarters here at Buck Knives.
That was on your hoodie.
We are in day 3 of this thing we call SHOT Show.
Yes.
We're all a little bit delirious. We're having fun, though.
Pushing for day 4.
Pushing for day 4 coming up.
Let's roll.
So we got our good buddies from Kel-Tec, sponsors of the Talking Lead podcast.
Insert stadium full of people whistling and screaming and clapping.
Well, actually, we had to fence off the crowd as they were building up. So we got security to come in, push everybody back so they wouldn't interfere with our audio here.
I love radio.
Radio's great.
You can say whatever you want.
And they believe it.
Chuck Norris is waiting for our autographs. Right
Chad
outside.
Enos joining us to my left.
Hello, everyone.
To his left, we've got he shows up once a year to these things.
Don't you?
Well, yeah, I show up once a year.
Everybody
to these
shows up
things.
once a year.
But we only see
I
you
think
once
so.
a year to the podcast.
Well,
It's Devin, ladies and
I have to
gentlemen.
ration myself.
Devin the Canadian.
Can't overstay my welcome.
So we've been getting like an influx of Canadians this year, it seems like. You guys even had your own party last night. It was Canadians only.
One can only eat so much bacon and maple
Interesting.
Huh.
So do you know
So at the door they're saying sorry.
Amanda Lynn Mayhew?
syrup. I know of her, yeah.
She's got a TV show there in Canada.
Devin knows who she is. She's legit now.
That's
That's what it sounded like. He knows everybody, though.
Well, she said she's got like the top female-hosted hunting show in Canada.
Nice.
And then to his left, we've got the beautiful, the talented Matt Stanek, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
I mean, your hair's kicking. I love your hair, man. Your hair's
you,
always
thank you.
point on. It's always.
I could say
point
the
on.
same for you.
Well, I just got mine cut. I usually had the long, flowing,
Yeah.
shaggy hair. And then Chad's got the shaggy beard.
Mm-hmm.
Always rocking the
I
beard.
think Chad before was calling it, he was referring to it as the moonshine hair, whatever that.
Moonshine.
Yeah, like you're kind of run and shine or something like that. Long curly tendrils.
Yeah. See, that's Canadian for redneck.
Is that what?
Yeah.
He's a shiner.
Yeah.
A shiner.
What?
SHOT Show.
No. What did? We were just at Dana's
Yeah, the
show. What's his name? Oh my gosh.
Randy.
Randy Couture.
Oh,
She asked-
Randy's here?
She asked Randy Couture what he thought of this, and he said it was the
Redneck Comic Con.
SHOT Show's a redneck Comic Con.
The shot shows the Redneck
That's
Comic Con.
perfect.
That's great. And of course, he's here every year. So what's that say
Yeah.
about him?
Nice, such a nice, humble guy too.
Says
I
he's-
never met him.
He supports
before.
great people. Is what it says.
Oh yeah. He's a really.
So you
good
guys have been
genuine guy.
hosting Dana again this year at the Kel-Tec booth.
Yeah, she came in and did some.
Dana Lash.
Took some. Yeah, signed some pictures, kissed some babies, and took all that kind of stuff. Yeah, she's just a really gracious host all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She puts on a great show.
Yeah. She doesn't schedule a time. She schedules
She
a time.
shows up?
Yeah. She schedules a time in, but never schedules a time out because she wants to make sure she's there.
Yeah.
Until the end, until she's exhausted everybody that wants to come see her and hang out with her and stuff, which is really cool because she doesn't have to do that. She's busy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. She's got her own thing she's doing.
Yeah.
And we had the girls of the industry on earlier. You sat down for a few minutes with Christy and Morgan, and before that you missed Jen and Narissa with the Girls with Guns. You just missed them. But, Dana is another, strong female in this industry that is leading the way by, talking the talk, walking the talk, walking the walk, and leading by example.
Yep.
So if you guys aren't following her, correct yourself. Go to danalash.com, I guess.
Yep. It's
Dana Lash TV.
The Dana Show on all the social media or danaradio.com.
There you go.
Yep.
danaradio.com. Very cool. So we want to talk Kel-Tec because you guys got some awesome stuff that you've unveiled here at SHOT Show.
We do.
I mean, you kept it a great secret. Even I didn't know and wasn't expecting this
one.
Well,
one of our products, Matt and I,
we
didn't even know about it until about a month ago, which is rare. We usually know about all the prototyping and everything else that goes on, even the T&E stuff or the R&D stuff. We're generally in the loop on that, but this was a surprise to both
you
of us.
guys, huh?
Yeah, and I think George is getting wise. He's not telling the marketing department what he's doing now because he knows. We get excited, we want to talk about it, and then that gets everyone excited, and then it's a year or two later before they start shipping and stuff, and everybody gets mad at us. So we've had to practice some self-control here.
So what we're talking about is you guys have come out with a new version of the Sub 2000.
Correct. It's called the Sub-CQB.
The Sub-CQB, and it is a
carbine quiet.
It's an integrally suppressed.
Yes, integrally suppressed Sub 2000.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's a carbine quiet barrel.
Yeah,
quiet barrel. So it's but it's single tack stamp, 4 1/4 inch barrel, and then the rest of it's a suppressor. We were running some 1/68s with it at the range day, and we should have called that the Sub finger snap. Because that's all it sounds like.
Yeah, and, I mean, even if that,
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with the Sub 2000, it's a folding carbine. It basically looks like a stick with a pistol grip on it. Mm-hmm. And so it's a straight blowback design, very, very simple design. So I think that's what helps with the suppression of it.
Right.
It's
very minimal to begin with.
Yeah, it's super minimal gun, and they're very quiet when they're
unsuppressed.
16-inch one, and especially when you're running 124s or 147 grain bullets and the heavier bullets.
Yeah,
I can't say it's hearing safe without a suppressor, but you could definitely go out to the range and not be annoyed by the sound of the bullets going down range. So you add a can to that, and it's literally like a finger snap.
Yeah.
So
that was like a huge surprise. I got to shoot it,
and it folds.
And it still
folds. It folds with an optic on it.
That's right.
Yeah, it's got an aluminum. For the life of me, I keep forgetting what it's called. It's basically a barrel shroud, but it's an extrusion. So you got Picatinny rail on top and bottom.
Right.
And so you got a place to throw an optic on, and then there's just a little locking tab. You pull the tab up, you can rotate the extrusion out of the way and then fold the gun up, and the extrusion also has a polymer handguard very similar to the KS7 grip, and that locks into the existing locking tab on the buttstock of the gun. So it folds up just like a regular Sub 2000, but now you can have your optic on there. You don't have to keep taking it off and put it on if you want to fold it.
Don't have to go to an aftermarket accessory rail.
Exactly.
There was a very good one out there that I used, but it's cool that you guys are doing that. And like you said, just one tack stamp. So that's very cool.
MSRP is only $9.95.
Only $9.95. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So that's going to be out when?
When can
we expect it?
Yeah, engineering, and I always say engineering says because if I don't, I'll get crucified for it. Engineering says July we'll start building it, and that's not because of a manufacturing process. That's easy. We've been building the Sub 2000s forever.
Yeah.
And this integrally suppressed barrel is very simple to build. It's just a matter of paperwork, getting the SKUs done, getting all the
doing all the paperwork,
getting it registered, trademarks, and all that kind of stuff. So that's Yeah, so it's not really the manufacturing that's slowing down, but and we typically, typically we show stuff and then we don't release. Everyone is mad about that, but in the last couple of years we stopped doing that. But in this case, since it's a Class 3 gun, we decided we could probably go ahead and show it now and just kind of see what people think of it.
Yeah.
And we honestly didn't have any idea it was going to take off the way it did, because people look at suppressors, the average gun person, they're like, I don't want to pay for the tax stamp, and it's just kind of a pain or whatever.
Right.
But we had so many people out there shooting it, and the first shot, they'd turn around, they were grinning, looking at their buddies.
I did the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then immediately, when, they find out the MSRP is, they're like, I gotta have one of those.
Yeah.
So it was pretty shocking to see that what people would pay, for that gun, and I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, suppressors they're pretty expensive to begin with.
They can be, yeah. They can be.
And then a quality one.
And then you throw the tax stamp on top of that.
Right. Yeah. And then you have to buy the host firearm first too. Which
true
could be $500-600. For a carbine like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very fair price. Really cool gun, and I think it's going to do really well. We didn't necessarily get caught with our pants down like we did with the KSG and the PMR 30 when those came out.
Right.
They were a huge hit.
Is it just going to be in the 9, or are you going to offer it in other calibers also?
Just the 9 as far as I know for now.
Okay.
We may.
Fair enough.
We actually are going to do more calibers other than the 9 and 40 in the Sub 2000 platform. So manufacturing the barrel, like if we wanted to do a suppressed barrel for those as well, it's just a matter of just changing the size,
sure,
the dimensions of the barrel and the can, obviously. So we could easily do that.
You've got the engineers that can handle that.
Yeah, and
you got the big brains over at Kel-Tec.
Yeah,
George.
And it's just as simple as just the changing the can is as simple as changing the caliber.
Yeah.
So really easy.
There you go, and it's running the Glock mags.
Yeah, we brought a Glock mag variant out, but we can put that barrel on the multi-mag variant too, and that takes 10 different mag catches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
nice.
So there's a lot of varieties of stuff you can do with that thing.
And that's to me, that's been my favorite thing of all SHOT Show that I've seen and heard about so far.
Eric and Chad from Iraq Vet came over, and he said the same thing, and that blew me away, because that guy knows more about guns than I'll ever know. So
my opinion doesn't mean anything.
Well, no.
It wasn't your opinion. He didn't validate my opinion until Chad came over.
Your opinion is not valid,
Chad and Eric,
because you're biased. And, I know that you've been hard up for Sub 2000s since the day I met you.
But I have never changed that opinion either.
Right.
The Sub 2000 has been my favorite even before I even got into the industry the way that I'm into it.
Right, but when you talk about Chad and Eric from Iraq Vet, all the stuff that they get and all the stuff they shoot through the gun shop and everything else, for them to be impressed with something that we kind of just sort of last minute did that's kind of a big deal. Because they could, it's like the guy that can afford anything, but he buys like a Honda Civic or something. Honda's be like, well, dude, you could be buying like whatever Lexus or whatever,
Matthew
Cadillac,
McConaughey driving a hybrid where he could be driving a Lamborghini.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that it's like, but it's just a matter of all these toys. There
are a lot of options out there, and the fact that they praised yours, you're
of course,
I get it. I get it.
And
I'm just saying,
he loved the P17.
My opinion, come on.
Opinion doesn't matter. That's why you have a radio show.
That's right. I'm a shill, right?
Shill.
I'm a shill. So that's not the only thing that you guys are offering. New.
No.
So another one of my, it's on my list. I haven't got one yet, but it's still one of my favorites that I want to get. It's the RDB, and you came out. And the reason I've been waiting is because I guess 2 years ago you said, "Oh, just wait, we're going to be coming out with this version of it." And I was, like you said, I was expecting, maybe next month or the month after that, and then 2 years later, here we are. But it's worth the wait. So talk about the RDB.
So it's the RDB Defender. For anybody that was here like 3 or maybe even. Was that even 4 years ago? We introduced the RDB Tactical.
Yeah.
And
about 3.
About 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so it's been ready for a while, but we obviously had just had a lot of other projects.
It's the same gun, just accessories.
Yeah. So it's
furnished out different.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the RDB Survival. So it's got the survival barrel in it, but it's got the 17 grip, the RDB 17 grip. So the tactical pistol grip.
Right.
And then it has the RDB Survival stock that.
It's adjustable stock.
Yeah, it's a 16-inch, real thin profile barrel, so it's extremely light.
Yep.
And it's a little bit shorter in that. Believe it or not, that inch and a half makes a difference. But it's a lot shorter.
I mean, men pay thousands of dollars just for an extra half inch, you know. So,
but to piggyback off that Defender, we have also released the RDB 17 Lock Handguard. It's the same one that goes on the RDB Defender, only it's a little longer because of the barrel length.
Right.
And so you kind of have an option if you don't want that thin profile barrel and you want the thicker profile barrel.
It's available.
Those things are they're ready to rock.
Many have seen the shooting team sporting those rails and
for years. Yeah.
So
we finally got it done.
You can technically get longer and thicker.
Everything a woman wants, Kel-Tec offers.
The RDB Survival, it might not be long, but it sure is thin.
It sure is thin.
That's our new slogan, Matt. That's how we're going to market it.
And what is the official name for this version?
RDB Tactical.
The RDB Tactical?
No. RDB Defender.
The RDB Defender.
Defender. Yes.
There you go.
That's it.
I like that. I like that name. That's a cool name. Did we miss anything else while I was at the range? I know you had the 22s out there. You had the
P17.
The P17, and you had the CP33.
Yep.
Out there. So how are those doing for you guys right now? I know when they first came out again, you couldn't keep them in stock.
CP33s are still. It's a really difficult gun to manufacture. I don't know why engineering does this to themselves. When I say it's difficult, I should say. It's difficult to create the what am I called? What's the word I'm looking for?
The frame?
No. The means to build the gun.
Oh, okay. The tooling,
infrastructure.
The infrastructure for building the gun. So those processes are constantly changing during the R&D process.
Right.
Because the gun changes, and then you have to change all the tooling, and then you change all the jigs and all that stuff. Then you got to train. Staff, to fix it, and then we have vendor issues, vendors that do coatings and things like that, and that gun's anodized, and so you get a whole batch of, you get 1,000 anodized parts back, and like none of them look the same. It's like, all right, we got to send them back to anodizing again. So there's a bit of a process. We have to get our vendors up to speed. We got to get our tooling up to speed, and then get the people that actually build the guns and test fire them up to speed as well. So.
Right.
It's a little bit of a process, and it depends on the design of the gun on how long that takes. So if we may put out 2 guns and one of them takes off, and we're already building 2,000 a week or something like that, and then we've got another one that takes we're building like 300 a week. It's because of the process of putting the thing together. Sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's slower. So, but we are cranking away on the CP33s, and it's never getting slower. It's always getting faster as far as the production goes.
So with that explanation, that is why it's taking us so long to get to our giveaway that we're going to be doing here on the Talking Lead podcast in celebration of our 300th episode, which was 6 months ago.
That's fault. The reason for that giveaway being delay is me. There's nothing to do with the building.
Oh, come on! You just gave a great explanation there, so I was going to go with that. I was going to run with that, man.
That's just me. Matt and I have been given a lot more responsibility here this past year, and as before, when I used to just say, "Oh yeah, we'll totally get you one of those," and then I'd have someone else fill out the paperwork, and then boom, it was sent.
Right.
But now I'm the guy that fills out the paperwork. I'm also the guy that decides. Matt and I decide who's going to get. These products for giveaways and things like that, and so we're very cautious about not with you, obviously. You can have whatever you want to give things away, but there's a whole lot of other people involved in the industry and stuff, and
Absolutely.
so we have to vet these things. It's just we're constantly doing something all day long, and when we get home, we're working from home too. It's been nuts.
Well, we're very understanding and patient. Our lead heads are. But
it's my fault, my bad.
But we're going to be giving that away now. We have it.
It's going to come with this. We're going to do a nice swag pack with that since there was a delay.
No, that's okay. Don't worry about it. So between now and when we make the announcement of what they have to do to be eligible to win that,
Yeah, you got to figure that part out.
Oh, I was needing your help for that.
Devin, what do you think? What should they have to do
say.
to win a CP33? And it can't.
We want a Canadian
I feel like I'm
opinion
coming
on
in
this.
cold off the bench right now. It's just like answer this
straight down the
question.
gutter. Right, I could see it in his eyes.
Things Americans can understand too, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can be EMT'd. I'll give you my email address, and then I'll just randomly pick somebody.
But how are we going to get the names come in?
Yeah, I'm going to give the email address out, and then the highest bidder is just going to magically win.
The highest bidder.
For reasons of simplicity.
So we're going to auction this off.
For reason of simplicity, that electronic money transfer might also be connected to my bank account.
I gotcha.
That's just to streamline
I
things so
gotcha.
your listeners can get that product faster. It's not that I'm on the tape.
Don't worry about that international, line that we got to cross.
Well, yeah.
That's
No,
easy.
we will come up with something cool, but just know that is coming up. We are still going to be giving that away, and we'll announce it before my birthday, which is in February.
What's the date of your birthday again?
24th, February 24th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were with. I'm 9th. I'm the 9th.
You're the 9th. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're older than me, but you're really not.
That's right. Like,
No, I'm older than you.
I'm a year older than you are. Or no, you're a year older.
I'm 40. I'll be 49, or I'll be 49 this year.
Yeah, me too. We're the same age.
We're same. Yeah, so you're older than me. Old fart. Is that what I've got to look forward to in my beard too when I grow it out?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. A couple of weeks can be hell on a man.
Well, but we were also talking about doing some hunting. The RDB.
Yes.
And so hunting season has coming on for deer season, but we have other opportunities coming up throughout the country. We're going to try to hook up with Hammer and do some hunts with the bullpups to show how viable that they are for actual hunting, and not just small game, but we're going to take down some deer with those too.
I've got a
Heck
buddy with a massive property down in Florida, and he's also, I don't know if he heads it up, but he's pretty high up in the fish and game, whatever.
Yeah.
And
will he allow us to poach?
Well, no, I sent him a message last night and told him that I've got some guys, they want to shoot alligators, because you can't shoot a gator unless it's on your own property.
Yeah.
And you get tags and all that stuff, special tags for it, and he's like, that no brainer, no problem. And anything else that's on that property, he's allowed to shoot it. Yeah. So he'd be the guide to take you out. And I've known this kid since we were in 4th grade.
Okay.
And he's always been like a straight up redneck. I think he was dipping by the time he was 8.
He was 8. He's already on Copenhagen, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And really, really smart guy. And loves to hunt.
Let's do it.
He's
Let's
a
make that happen.
conservationist. Yeah. So
Okay.
we can make that happen.
Hell yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be like a good way to kick it off. Take down a gator.
Mm-hmm.
Because your grips kind of look like a gator skin, Anyway.
Gator grip.
Gator
It's called
grip.
Gator Grip.
Is it?
It is.
That's what you officially named it, the Gator Grip?
Yeah. We're from Florida, man.
When did you do that? When did it officially become the Gator
That
Grip?
was a long time ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
I just always knew it as the Kel-Tec.
I think after, it was probably the PF9.
Yeah, and I don't know of a moment where we said this is Gator grip.
It just kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it though.
Somebody
I like
at the shop probably called it Gator Grip, and then it just, before we were even there. Wait, were you there for the PF9?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe it was Matt.
Okay.
We'll credit Matt for it. Matt
There you
said
go.
Gator.
I'll
Matt
take
said it
it.
looks like Gator Grip. And
I mean,
then
you
here
might
we
as
are, 15 years later.
You might as well take it. It's
I'm going to
famous.
take that.
You want a little protein bar?
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's more if you need one.
Okay.
Need a little energy. So NRA's coming up. Are you guys going to have another grand unveiling for NRA? Something that quick in the works?
No.
No.
I'm going to say no.
Well, you didn't know you had the integral suppressed 9
saying
millimeter.
that.
Integrally suppressed 9 millimeter sub 2000.
During our SHOT Show meeting, I told everyone to practice saying that.
Yeah.
I think we might have something. Maybe it's a big maybe.
Okay.
I'm still saying we're not announcing the integrally suppressed sub 2000. I haven't
Nicely
accepted
done.
that yet.
Man, that came out nice.
The
CQB.
CQB.
Yep.
CQB.
Yep.
Sub 2000.
Carbine quiet
Sub
barrel.
2000 CQB.
Sub 2000 CQB.
It's Sub-CQB. That's
Sub
the name. That's the
CQB.
official name. It's Sub-CQB.
I like that better.
Yeah.
SUB CQB.
Yeah. We wanted
SUB
to simplify
CQB. That just rolls off the tongue.
I think we just figured that out.
There you go.
On the talking, you heard it first right here on Talking Lead.
Because we are the show for exclusives.
We are the show that determines what the guns are named at Kel-Tec.
And the grips and everything else. So looking forward to that. That's going to be in our backyard. NRA is going to be in Nashville this year.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
And, I mean, we may or may not be set up
at the Kel-Tec booth.
At a new Kel-Tec booth.
We're
talking about that. We're working on it.
There's no travel or anything involved. Like, easy.
Yeah, we're talking about it.
Yeah, so there's no travel expense. There might be a hotel involved, but there's nothing else.
I mean, that room's ours. We can kind of do whatever we want with it. So.
What do you eat?
What do I eat?
Yeah.
Let's see. Hawaiian macadamia nut spark.
I think we could manage that. Yeah.
We can make something work. Yeah. But you ladies, if you're going to be attending NRA, make sure you look for Kel-Tec's booth there. Look for the lead quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And are you guys going to be doing any kind of range things there? Additionally, at some of the local ranges, would you like to? Because I can set it up and make it happen.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, we got some personnel over there.
Yeah. Very cool.
Is Joe Mo has
special
Joe
party?
Kel-Tec
party?
Yeah, he's coming on at 2. What time is it? 15 after 2?
So, yes.
Yeah.
You're up.
Wave them in.
You're up next.
So, guys, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're jam slam busy, but the lead heads can look forward to having you guys on our regularly scheduled program. Say that 10 times fast as well. And once we finally decide what we're going to do for a giveaway, maybe you guys send in some suggestions, lead heads, on how we should give away that CP33.
Yes. Yeah, and also give us some suggestions on the next giveaway because
Joe said, "Give it to me."
They're kind of butting up against each other. I mean, the first one took so long. Now we're probably already due for another giveaway. So
I think so. Yeah. But
NRA giveaway.
We'll take care of the lead heads. Don't worry about it. They're happy.
We love the lead heads. They're our favorite people in the industry.
All right, guys, we got more coming at you from the 2020 SHOT Show from the official lead quarters here at Las Vegas. Bug knives, ladies and gentlemen. Did you guys see the new Buckmaster 2.0? We announced the release of it. So you remember the original Buckmaster?
I want one of those.
The one that looked like the Rambo knife. You remember that?
Yeah.
Back in the 80s?
Yeah.
Hugely popular buck knife. So they've redesigned it, came out with a whole new look for it, and 2.0 diver knife.
What's the MSRP on that?
It's actually going to be, so when those originally came out, they were like $180 like in the 80s. That today's money is like $400 and something. So they're going to be half the price of what they originally were.
Nice. Go buck knives.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we'll be back.
Roger that.
All right, lead heads, we're back, and hope you enjoyed that line of interviews from the 2020 SHOT Show. You can thank Buck Knives for making all that happen. You can thank Twisted X Boots. They are the official footwear of Talking Lead for the 2020 SHOT Show. And, of course, our good buddies over at Mission First Tactical, David Edelman, making all these interviews from SHOT Show possible for you lead heads. And we've got many more to come. So stay tuned. We're going to keep cranking them out. And you got questions, you got comments. There's a particular one you really liked or you want more information about, get in touch with me at talkingled@gmail.com, and we'll make that happen. And we did a little special AK Corner, Talking Lead AK Corner while we were there, and that's going to be coming up. So just a few days as you're listening to this, the new episode of the Talking Lead AK Corner is going to be coming at you from the 2020 SHOT Show. So still join us. We've got Jack with Virtual Tactical Training Resources. And you guys just heard prior to all those interviews about his product there and how he is bringing a whole new level of realistic training to your defensive handgun and active shooter scenarios. So, Jack, we appreciate you joining us. One more time, give everybody that website and your social medias and everything.
Yeah, we're on a VT2R, as in Victor Tango, the number 2, R, Romeo.com. On our landing page, you'll find a Facebook link, YouTube's, my LinkedIn. There's also a pretty informative video that shows us going from shooting rubber ducks to engaging in a full hostage taking scenario, just to kind of give you the breadth of what we can do.
Yeah. Now I've got one more question. You were talking about the compatibility you've got right now. You're just doing the Glock. Is that correct, or do you have other platforms that you're working on as well?
At the moment, I've got Glock 17. We're working Glock 19, SIG 228, 229. I'm developing the SIG 320 because that's the military M17, M18.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of these, I mean, it's a whole different design. So we're going to crawl, walk, run, but I'm trying to get that 17 and 19 out. Our AR-9, again, it's a badass weapon. And you can have a 4-inch barrel on our AR-9 without a certificate because it's not technically a barrel. You can't measure from the barrel.
It's not a firearm.
So, yeah, you're not discharging a firearm.
Yeah.
So we've got all that stuff ready.
So you got plans to come out with full-size ARs and AKs and all that stuff?
Yeah, I've already got ARs that are in test.
Gotcha.
They're ready to roll. We just got to get ammo sourced.
Very cool.
Just one more quick thing I'd mention.
Yeah.
What we built the AR-9 for was I can make it replicate an AR-15 in every respect. And you buy 9mm ammo for training, which is less than half the cost of a simunition or even a UTM round.
Yeah.
So you can buy one ammo and do all this training with common ammo to save money. We are rolling the 223, 5.56 later because we know there'll be a demand for it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Well, very cool. So, guys, make sure you go to the website there. Check out that landing video that he's talking about. You got a superstar in there. I hear your daughter.
Yeah. She would be.
Star of the
I'd
video.
be in trouble if I didn't say we run every day Stockyards Gunfighter. So you can go to stockyardsgunfighter.com. We're one of the first and only all virtual gun ranges anywhere. We're 7 days a week. We're shooting on simulators with air recoil and laser pistols. We're looking to add this eventually, but if you're in the Fort Worth area, come see us at stockyardsgunfighter.com. Let us know you're coming. Be happy to set up a demo for you.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, and we got several listeners in that area, so you guys go check them out, and you can get a first-hand account of this and give us some feedback on that.
And Lefty, we'd like to bring it down to you and get us around to your guys. We'll just run through it and test it out and get good videos to let you really get immersed in the technology.
Yeah, absolutely would love to. I mean, just that little bit of exposure that I got there at the Antares range stay was phenomenal. So very cool. Guys, go check them out. And, of course, when you're doing your live ammo training, go to Fiocchi Ammo. They've got some of that frangible ammo out now that you're shooting those steel plates. Really makes it nice so you're not getting all that spray back from the lead. Check them out, fiocchiusa.com. They've got a really nice new website, new interface, kind of a new look going on there. And then, of course, famous for their shotgun ammo. They've got that there, and pretty much anything you need. Go check them out, fiocchiusa.com. And, of course, Modern Spartan Systems for all your gun cleaning and lubricating needs. Don't just clean your firearms, optimize them with Modern Spartan Systems line of products. And then, of course, I sing the praises of their TVT engine oil additive. Keeps my lead sled running smooth, keeps our Jeeps running, keeps our cars running, our lawnmowers, anything that uses oil. You want to put that TVT engine oil additive in there, and it's going to add life and a little zest to it. ModernSpartanSystems.com. Kel-Tec Weapons. We just heard from them, heard from Chad and Matt and the gang there at Kel-Tec Weapons and the new products that they're bringing to market. There's another one. I don't know if we mentioned it or not in that interview or not, but they've come out with a 50-round 22 magazine for that CP33 as well. We're not going to be including that in the giveaway that we're going to be doing, but that's something to keep in mind, that you can, where legal, you can obtain that 50-round 22 long magazine for that CP33. It's just a treat to shoot that thing, man. It's so fun being able to just crank out 50 rounds of 22. It's just, you talk about cheap ammo. It doesn't get any cheaper than the 22, definitely. And if you guys want to get your evil black assault mugs, the Talking Leadys, you can go to dip123.com. Just Google, or not Google, but do a search for Talking Lead, and you can get the Talking Leadys there. Different colors. There's a couple of different sizes that you can get there. But go check them out, dip123.com/collections/Talking Lead. And I've got links on our website where you can get to it real quick, so you can go to our website and get to those. And then if you want one of our T-shirts, our classic T-shirts, or our Leadhead Brigade T-shirts, you can get those at 1776united.com. We've got the patches there also. So go there and get geared up with your Talking Lead kit, your Leadhead Brigade kit. And then Mission First Tactical is doing our tactical wallets and our tactical dump trays. So you can go to Mission First Tactical, and they've got all that there. So that's how we bring this to you each and every week, sometimes more often than that, Leadheads. Our AK Corner, like I said, that's coming up. Give Century Arms a big thanks for being the presenting sponsor for that. Occam Defense Solutions for being a supporting sponsor. And Real Avid also helping us kick that second season of the AK Corner off. So the fifth episode of the Talking Lead AK Corner is coming up. And, of course, each and every episode we're giving away something cool from Century Arms and our supporting sponsors. So you never know what it's going to be. So you got to listen. You got to participate. We got to see you on social medias, sharing, liking, commenting, interacting with the other lead heads on there in a nice, respectful way. You can disagree, but you can do it in a nice, respectful way. We don't mind that at all. But yeah, AK Corner's coming up. Make sure you stay tuned for that. I think that's all I got right now. I mean, NRA's coming up a couple of months, so we're working on where we're going to be once we solidify where the Leadhead Talking Lead lead quarters is going to be. We'll let you know. That way all you guys can make sure you come by. And we may be working on a little something after show wise too, just for you lead heads. So we'll bring all that to you and more coming up soon. Jack, again, it was a pleasure having you on. Appreciate you taking the time to come on and leducate our listeners on the VT2R system.
Well, thanks for having me. I enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you next time.
Yes, sir. Hopefully you'll make it down for the NRA, and we'll get you out to Royal Range and put that system to use and do some videos, and maybe have some of the lead heads out to try it out too.
Yeah, we'll get you out shooting some hostages or bad guys.
All right, guys. Until then, as always, keep your loved ones close.
And your firearms closer, which will be more accessible and readily used with VT2R AdTac system.